Hey guys, Pat here again from Rain Country, and welcome to another edition of Shop Time with Pat. Anyway, I have an old Boyce and Crane table saw. It's a bench top table saw. That outfit got started back in the early 30s, and I'm not sure what age model saw this is, but by the looks of the piece of equipment, it could be anywhere in the 30s, 40s, or even as late as the 50s. Right now, it's kind of useless the way it is because it's in parts. When I bought it, it was set up on two big 4x8 laminated posts and was kind of shored up with blocking and different things. And so what I wanted to do is build a little rollaway table for it, a support stand. And so scavenging around the shop again, looking desperately not to throw anything away out of here, but also make my shop a little bit more efficient and a little bit more user-friendly. So I have this set up in such a way that I've taken measurements where I want to build a stand. The thing is really heavy. It's all made out of cast iron. There's no plastic on it anywhere. And that old motor down there, as you can see, the old oil cups on here. It's kind of cool for oiling the bearings and such. Really neat old motor, 220 volt. I believe it's reversible. I'm pretty sure it is. I've got this old steel made out of 3/8 inch steel, I believe it is, and it's got some real heavy duty little casters on it. I've been kicking this old steel box around in my shop for many years, and so what I want to do is I want to incorporate this box, of course, house the motor. And don't worry guys, I'm going to give this plenty of ventilation, and I'm going to keep the sawdust off of it the best I can. I've got a couple of ideas rolling around in my head, is doing a little bit of duct work here and fashioning some aluminum and making a a capture point for the sawdust to come down and put it on a vacuum and be able to suck the sawdust out of here, and also shroud the motor. Again, still engineering on the fly on this. The fence, you loosen this up and you put that down in order to slide this back and forth. You push that back straight. You push the fence back straight. You lift up this handle to lock it in place, and then you twist this little knob here to secure it on the other end. It's got this little device here that sucks up tight against this angle iron piece right here. Here's the other end of that motor. I just have sitting in this box right now. I kind of have everything just kind of propped up in such a way that situating the box to where everything lines up as far as the belt, the drive belt and everything's concerned. Took the blade off it. I had it rigged up the other day to where I can make a cut on it. It cuts nice. I had to do some alignment to the fence and whatnot, but I can see in a couple of places where they brazed the parts together. It had been broke before. You can see right here is a braze. Most folks would probably take this thing and haul it to the dump, but I think this old saw still has some life left in it. Okay, I need to build two of these braces here, and what those will do is they'll fit inside that box, and I will bolt those to the inside of the box, and then the table saw will bolt to this top piece right here. So I have to drill the holes in here. I got to weld this up. I'll weld this together, just kind of make a U shape out of it. they're going to be going in here. One on this side and one on that side of the box. And basically, once these are, I'm gonna be drilling holes in the side of the box here, plumb to the legs on the sump. Okay, we got these little legs right here. Typically, these just sit on a bench or table, but I want to make this thing mobile, like I was saying before, and have it to where I could just roll it in and out of the way. The table is going to sit in such a position to where the motor is perpendicular to the tabletop, and the pulleys are plumb and in line with each other for the drive system to travel. Perfectly is a relative term. Again, we're not building rocket ships here. You want to get this as right as possible, perpendicular and horizontal and everything just square with one another, so that eliminates wear on bearings. You maximize your power and maximize your wearability on your drive system. These are actually going to recess into the box, and they're going to bolt from the outside. If I wanted to raise the table up for any reason, I can make some more, I can drill some more holes in the sides of this rollaway box here. As you can see, this is setting pretty doggone square to the floor anyway, and I'll reference everything to the floor. But when this is all said and done, you know, when this thing is rolling around on the floor, you want everything in reference to that, because the floor is going to dictate whether or not the table is level or not. The top of the square is just about 1/8 of an inch off of the foot here of the table saw. You go on the other side, because I want that to be centered on that foot. That looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this, and that'll give me a reference to go by when I drill the holes in the side of the box here, and also drill holes in the side of this leg here to bolt to the inside of that box. Okay, now everything that I do from this point on will be duplicated on the other side by taking measurements from one side of the box in to each one of those measurements. And then I'll duplicate those lines on the other side, so basically everything should be square to the box. So what I'll do is I'll disassemble all this, and then I'll get to drilling my holes here, and then I can remove this wood and set this table saw right on top of these legs here, and then fine-tune the squaring up of the motor. I have to also build a couple of supports down here for the motor to lift that up to a perfect elevation. So I've got the old motor out, and I want to focus on that nameplate while I have everything exposed. What I have here is a little bit of emery cloth, and I want to shine that up a little bit so I can get the numbers off of that a little bit better. So I'm just going to lightly buff this up. Obviously you don't want to put too much abrasive on there, because eventually it'll rub the stamped letters off of there, but I'm just barely hitting this to where I can hopefully read the impressions on there. It looks like there used to be some sort of a sticker or label on here, and that's long since been gone. But what I'm picking up on this right now is looks to me like a model number, and that's A5396. Again, that's Alpha 5396, and this looks like it might be a date of 1-1-41. Right here it says 110, so that's 110 volts at 220 volts. So this is a switchable motor between 110 and 220. And so at 110 volts you're drawing 14 amps, and 220 volts you're drawing 7 amps. I think it's 700 or 1760 RPM motor. I'll stop going on about that and get to working on this stanchion here. I screwed up. As you can see, I've got holes tapped here in the center of this 2-inch angle iron, and that's not exactly the case on the table saw. I was measuring center to center on the table saw mounting holes, and this is 13 1/4. As you can see how far off I had to make these holes, so I had to center the 13 1/4 and move it back a little bit to miss these holes here. So I have to do likewise on the front side. That is actually 13 center to center on the front, so I have to move everything back just a 1/2 inch just to make everything work. So I'm back to re-drilling these and running a tap in here. The mounting holes for the saw I assumed were the same, but they're not. And where I messed up on my part is I didn't measure and verify that. The other thing is that I assumed that I could just put the hole in the center of this 2-inch, but if you remember, I have a 1/4 inch hanging over on each side of the angle iron, so I can't put it in the center. I have to move that. So anyway, retapping these holes, and I'll move to the front and do likewise. Everything's going to be moving back a 1/2 inch this way. I'll double take measurements here. Center to center will be 13 inches, and front to back will be 11. 3/4 of an inch inside each. From the inside to where the hole is going to be a 3/4 of an inch. Likewise on the other side. 11 inches from the fresh hole. So I have a little bit of forgiveness this way because those holes are oblong. I'll just put those in loose. And I'm putting a little anti-seize on here to make these a little bit easier to run in and out. Alright guys, now I'm working on mounting the motor in the box there. So I have to determine where center to center is on the pulleys. So what I've decided to do is hang a plumb bob, center the plumb bob in the middle of the pulley for the blade and arbor, and then straight down below that you can see the pulley for the motor, and going down underneath. And bear in mind, I do have a level floor I'm working off of too, so looking at the pointed end of the plumb bob, I'm centering that in the middle of the pulley. So now I could take measurements off of the back of the motor. This is back here where you change the voltage from 110 to 220, and I think you can reverse the rotation on the motor as well. But now I could take a measurement from here to the back of the box and determine where center is on this without, you know, putting a plumb bob on here every time, because my next step is to put the pulley on there and determine how tall or how high up I need to shim or make the motor mounts.